Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 19th day of February 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. I hope your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health with first responders looking to comfort and save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep cities and towns clean. Those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are helping the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts from top to bottom that cause these industries to continue to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. There will be a basketball game at Madison Square Garden tonight. The New York Knicks will be hosting the Detroit Pistons at Madison Square Garden. Now, the Knicks have lost twice to the Pistons. I like to look at these things as learning experiences. And I think the coaches do too. Good coaches, like I consider Mike Brown a good coach, they learn from these situations. You see, all coaches do not reveal everything that they're going to do playoffs during the regular season, but they experiment and see what they have, what works, what doesn't work. Sometimes with a team like the Knicks, it's better to do that because you're going to win more games than you lose just because of what your team is built about, the roster and so on and so forth. But you want to find out about the weaknesses of your opponent, even if you lose the game. Last year, for example, the Knicks lost 3-1 to Detroit. They were 0-4 against Boston, and they beat them both in the playoffs last year because they had learned during the course of the year. Thibodeau had picked up what the weaknesses were and went after them. Now, unfortunately, the Indiana Pacers exploited the Knicks, as I mentioned, their weakness, especially with Towns and Jalen Brunson in the pick and roll, and they went after it hard. Carlisle had their team going after that, and that's how they won the series. That's how they came back. The weakness on the three-point defense and going under too much, and then, of course, the hot shooting of Neesmith and then Malik Beasley, that was enough to beat the Knicks. In the playoffs, it's very small margins for error. So the Knicks have addressed that problem by not only adjusting their defense to cause players to be pushed toward the sidelines, but also adding, of course, as we know, defensive talent in terms of, first of all, putting Mitch Robb on the bench, making the bench defensive unit stronger, okay? And then, of course, having Hart start, which brings a toughness to the starting unit, which we've seen the success of that. They're +8 for the year. So they've made adjustments. Now, tonight is more of the chess match. And this is, again, most, unfortunately, people, and I understand it, because the NBA is a business. So they're trying to make money. And I understand it. So they hype players, they hype the game. It's a big, hype monger thing. And people get hyped for a game like it's the end of the world, they want to lose or whatever. But I am more of a longer term view guy. I like an analysis. I'm looking toward the playoffs. And what I want to see tonight, I want to see the Knicks play, again, Knicks basketball, which means I'd like to see them get over 27 assists. I'd like to see them dominate the boards. I don't care if Cat fouls out. I want to see them play Detroit with physicality. I want to see how they keep Cade Cunningham out the paint. I want to see how they utilize Jeremy Sohan. And speaking of Sohan, I was telling y'all before that Diawara is going to lose his minutes. But the media is acting like you won't hear from Diawara again. That's not true. You may not hear from Tyler Kolek again. Okay, you might see a couple minutes of him because Deuce is out. But you're going to see Diawara. You just won't see him with the amount of minutes he had been getting. He's too good to sit completely. But I still see 8 to 12 minutes for Diawara in all games going forward into the playoffs, 8 to 12 minutes, because he's just too good defensively. You can put him and Sohan out there right now, especially with Deuce out, and you can cover whatever wings you got to cover, okay? But Sohan is, and I had somebody mention his age. You got to look at more than the player's age, although the age does play a role. But Sohan has 4 years NBA experience. This is the first year for Mohamed Diawara. Okay, and France don't count. That ain't the league. Okay, Diawara is good and he's going to get better, but Sohan's more ready, especially against a playoff level team. So you're going to play, and that's why Mike Brown was trying to say is that he said, I'm going to give Jerry Sohan a look. Well, he just wants to make sure about what we already know. Sohan's going to bring defense, toughness, and motor. As long as he does that, we good. Okay, so that's going to be important, especially come playoff time. Whereas Diawara is still developing very nicely. So you're going to get some minutes of him because you're not going to get diminishing return. This is the key of how to handle young players when you are a championship level team. You don't want to give them too many minutes so that they can make mistakes, because mistakes get exploited against better teams. You want to give him enough minutes so that he can give you the maximum without diminishing returns. Okay? And that's where Diawara is at right now. You want to play him enough minutes with the right combinations that you're going to maximize the 8 to 12 minutes you want to give him. And then you want to take him out because you don't want them to exploit him, which they will do. Again, you will see him. I don't suspect, I'll be surprised if you see any DMPCDs for Diawara the rest of this season. He's not going to get that. He may only get 5 minutes in a game, but he's going to be in the game because you can use that talent on the defensive end of the floor. He's playing very well. So he's not going to disappear. The media always goes overboard. Well, it looks like Diawara is going to be out. No, it's not. He's not going to be out. He's going to lose minutes, but it's not going to be DMPCD. Guys like McCullough, Kolick, Daddy, of course, you'll get DMPCDs from them. Hoop Porty, they're going to see some DMPCDs, not Diawara. So the 2 times that the Knicks lost to Detroit were learning experiences. The last time was on February 6th. Now, in that game, the Knicks had no Cat, no Deuce, no OG. Okay? No Cat, no Deuce, no OG. And I believe it was the second night of a back-to-back on top of that. So I'm not giving an excuse. First, you got to give Detroit credit. They took advantage. They won the game as they're supposed to. But it was a learning experience in that in both losses to Detroit, there's some commonalities. This particular one, the last one, the Knicks only had 22 assists. Jalen Brunson took 20 shots. 20 shots. See, this is the problem, one of them. Jalen Brunson seems to feel the need to fill in the scoring load when other guys, in this case, Cat and OG and Deuce, are out. That's a mistake. He has to stick within the game plan. And so he took 20 shots. He was 4 of 20, 20% from the field, 0 of 8 from 3. You got to give Detroit credit, too. That's part of their tough defense against Brunson. But Brunson's trying to fight the defense instead of letting the game come to him. Therefore, now you only got 22 assists. You get 15 turnovers. Even though Brunson didn't have any, you still had 3 for Bridges. You had 3 for McCullough because you played a rookie, a young dude. He wasn't a rookie, but you played him 20 minutes. You played Kolick 20 minutes. You know, it just wasn't going to work out. You're not going to win against an elite team playing young guys like that many minutes. Okay, you're in trouble if you do that. So that was the game. Diawara started. He played 20 minutes. He was minus 14. Mitchell Robinson started. He played 20 minutes. He was minus 14. Josh Hart played 25 minutes. He was minus 9. I mean, it was a bad game for the Knicks, and you got to give Detroit credit. They did take care of business the way they were supposed to take care of business. Now, the game before that the Knicks played against Detroit was, I think it was January 5th. Yes, it was January 5th. And in that game, again, you look at the box score in that game. And of course, I saw both of these games. Now, in that game, there was no OG. Very important for our team with OG. It shows you how important he is. He was missing both Detroit losses. He wasn't there. He'll be there tonight. But this is when Brown is trying to experiment, and he had the Towns-Robinson combination in the game. Didn't work out too well. Towns fouled out, okay, in that game. McBride hit 5 3-pointers in that game. He only took 9 shots and hit 5 3-pointers, okay, had 17. But Brunson took 21 shots, okay. Brunson had no assists in that game. The total assists for the Knicks were 15, okay, for the game. Who was it? Yeah, McCullough had 3 assists in that game. the ball wasn't moving, I guess is what I'm saying. The ball was not moving. And so, and if it was, you'd have got McBride more shots. But it wasn't moving. Again, Brunson takes 21 shots. When he's over 20 shots, the Knicks are not a better team. The Knicks are better when the Knicks are 14 and 3 when he takes, no, I'm sorry, they're 20 and 3 when Brunson takes less than 20 shots. So when Brunson feels the need to take over for scoring, we don't do well. Okay, all these people talking about he has to create his own shot because the Knicks can't create their own shot. It's bullcrap. This ain't Rucker. This is the league. The ball's got to move. Okay, and we have proven that by how many games they win when the ball moves. Okay, so now you had, again, Mikal Bridges playing 26 minutes, 4 of 10 from the field, 2 or 3, but he only took 10 shots, whereas Brunson took 21. Deuce only took 9 shots, hit 6 of them, 5 threes. The ball needed to move more, and it wasn't. Okay, again, a learning experience. Diawara only played 5 minutes that game. Now, if that was the same situation tonight, let's say there was no OG, and you had the same crew, Diawara would play more minutes. You'd have Sohan playing more minutes. You wouldn't start Mitchell Robinson. You start Landry Shamet. We did not have him in that game on January 5th. We did not have him. So you'd start Landry Shamet. So now, tonight, everybody but Deuce is available. Okay, so now you're not having your full contingent, but what you are having is key pieces: OG, Cat, Mitch Rob. You're gonna have Shamet. You're gonna have your full contingent available tonight. As far as injuries, all you're dealing with tonight is Deuce McBride. He's the only guy, and he's important now. But OG's gonna be there. Deuce is out. I predict today is February 19th. Deuce will be back, in my view, by March 19th. 1 month, he'll be back. Okay? I'm just telling y'all. That's how I'm feeling, because I know Deuce is tight. Deuce is tough. Deuce is wanting to get back full force and come back and contribute to this team. So I'm expecting him in about a month. Now, it's been about, let's see, he had the surgery, I want to say it was the week of the trade deadline when we got Alvarado. So that was like 2 weeks ago. So it's saying 6 to 8 weeks. I'm leaning more towards 6. So I'm thinking about a month from now, 4 or 5 weeks, you'll see Deuce back. Now, for now though, we got OG back. So you're going to see Sohan. This is going to be something, because you're going to have your regular starting 5. Then you're going to have Alvarado, Shamet, Sohan, Diawara, Mitch Rob. Jordan Clarkson probably gets pushed out. Okay, probably gets pushed out. He might get some minutes tonight, depending on the foul situation, but he's going to be he's one of the losers in this scenario. He's going to lose minutes. Kolik's going to lose minutes. Hoop Porty's going to lose minutes, because you got Mitch Rob and Cat available. So this is going to be the team tonight. Now, Detroit, on the other hand, is missing 2 major pieces of their own, which they weren't missing when we played them in the first 2 games. So again, it's not to determine who's better and who's not better. It's the experiment of seeing where the weaknesses are and how you beat. So Duran is suspended, Stewart is suspended. Okay, so you're going to have Paul Reed starting. Now Paul Reed is a Knick killer. He plays every time, whether he was on Philly or on Detroit. He plays inspired basketball against the Knicks. So they're missing Duran, but Paul Reed's going to come to play today. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to have basically the rest of their team. Their bench is still tough. Jenkins has been a revelation for them. Karis LeVert, Javonte Green killed us with 4 threes when we played one of them 2 other games. Ron Holland, of course, we know. Kevin Huerter, Howdy Doody is there. So they got a nice squad still. Okay, now they're missing 2 players, but they got Cade. That's the thing. So it's going to be a good game. The Knicks are more equipped to play them tonight. I want to see Knicks basketball. Like I said, more than 27 assists. Jalen Brunson, 20 shots or less tonight. Defense. Can we hold them under 100 points? Key to doing that is keeping them out the paint. You get in their paint, but you don't allow them in your paint. It's like with football, right? Whoever wins the line of scrimmage usually wins the game. in football, right? So you really want to build your football team. I know everybody focuses on the quarterback, and I hear that, but your line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball is important. If you can dominate the defensive line of scrimmage, that means you could get to their quarterback. If you could dominate the offensive line of scrimmage, you can give your quarterback time. You can open up holes for running backs. A whole bunch of good things happen. Whoever dominates the line of scrimmage, because football is a game about real estate. What do I mean? Like who gets the yards, who doesn't, who stops them from getting the yards. One time I'll never forget, Giants when they were winning their first Super Bowl. Bill Parcells, of course, was the coach. They were in a goal line stand. I forgot who they were playing, but the Giants held them in 3 or 4 tries at the goal line and got the ball back and won the game. And after the game, they asked Parcells, what was that? What happened there? And he said, it was basically our guys against their guys. And our guys won. That's the line of scrimmage. In basketball now, it's the paint. You got to get into their paint and don't allow them in your paint. That's the key to the game. Because getting into their paint opens up easier shots for you, and stopping them from getting in your paint makes their shots tougher, more pressure. Okay, so that's a key here. And many of you already mentioned, one of the reasons to get a Sohan is for a Cade Cunningham. So you're going to start off with either OG and or McCall guarding Cade. Okay, and then you're going to bring in Sohan and Diawara. And they're all going to take turns on Cade. So with that being the situation, Cade's got to deal with this train. They running you know what I mean. I was going to say they running the train on Cade, but I don't got to go there. But anyway, they're going to throw bodies at Cade and keep him out the paint. That's the key here. Keep him out the paint. Okay? You keep him out the paint. He's the key to keeping all of them out the paint. Then in the second unit, Jenkins and Holland get in the paint. Levert too. You got to keep them out the paint. Second unit for us, as we know now, is Alvarado, Robinson, right? Alvarado, Robinson, Sohan, Diawara, Alvarado, Robinson, Sohan, Diawara. Okay. We talked about this defensive unit, and of course, you're going to have Diawara, Robinson, Shamet, Alvarado. That's your second unit. Now, you would have Deuce. You don't have Deuce tonight, but you're going to have Jeremy Sohan. So you can have Sohan, Diawara, Shamet, Robinson, Alvarado. We can deal with them. Okay, so I want to see how that goes. This is the first game for Sohan. He's going to be hyped. It's MSG. You know it's going to be all hyped, right? So we're going to see how this works. Again, I just want to see them get assists. I want to see Brunson control himself. And I want to see them dominate the paint. That's the hardest part, dominating the paint against Detroit. One of the reasons they top in the East is because they dominate the paint against everybody. Cade Cunningham gets in everybody's paint, and they stop people from getting in theirs. Line of scrimmage. There you go. See, that's why Deuce Shamet becomes so important. Alvarado too, because they stop you from getting in their paint. And that's where the weakness of Brunson comes in. But he's been, the last few games, when they went 10-2, Brunson was fighting like hell to keep the opponent out the paint. I haven't seen him put that kind of scrap into it. Because he's, this is the thing. Y'all shouldn't question, which some of y'all really ready to do, the effort level of the Knicks. They want to win just as bad as you want them to win. Okay? Brunson shows that. So does Cat. Okay? So I don't want to hear all this. Y'all acting like this is high school. Y'all dogging it. No, stop it. This is the league. These guys getting paid a lot of money, and they take this very seriously. And so we want to see how our guys do. Can we play Knicks basketball against these cats? How is Sohan going to do in that second unit? We're going to get to see it. I'm excited about it. I'm sure y'all are too. So here we go. Tonight's the night. Let's see where we at. I think we're going to be all right. Y'all enjoy the game. Enjoy your Thursday. Shalom.